problem of determining what are the basic qualifications required for the selection and training of astronauts. We are pleased to have with us today Ms. Jerry Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members of Congress. May I say first, on behalf of myself and the 12 other women space candidates, that we thank you for the opportunity of letting us be heard on Capitol Hill. I was sort of drafted to be spokesman for all 13.
Speak into the microphone, Ms. Cobb.
Excuse me?
Speak into the microphone.
You were never good at talking to boys.
We who aspire to be women astronauts ask for the opportunity to bring glory to our nation by an American woman being the first in all the world to make a space flight.
Thank you, Ms. Cobb. Cameras in space. I find it rather remarkable. And both dogs and monkeys were all female.
Dogs and monkeys. Dogs and monkeys. What is this? Zero congressional hearing.
Can you tell me what is the woman's record of safety to operate a jet plane as compared to the men?
Safety record?
Yes. Are the women just as competitive, or are they better than the men?
Better than men?
As it is impossible for a woman to fly a jet in this country, I only know of one woman, and that is famed pilot Jacqueline Cochran, who you will hear from later.
Have any women been tested for spaceflight simulators?
No,
No.
being up in space couldn't be near as frightening as being here.
No more questions.
But
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now hear. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now hear from an astronaut and a great American colleague, John Glenn.
First, I'd like to preface my remarks by stating one point. I am not anti any particular group. I'm just pro-space.
That I am sure.
Anything I say is towards the purpose of getting the best qualified people, whatever sex, color, or creed, or anything else that may happen to be.
Colonel Glenn, would you support a program to train women as astronauts?
I wouldn't oppose it,
I'm very glad to hear that.
but also see no requirement for it, when we already have qualified people.
The idea is among some that we should do this because the Russians do it. I do not think that the women of America should do all things that the Russians would have to do.
No, I believe it's protecting our program.
Against women?
No, sir. Not against women. I think sometimes the papers and magazines have been misleading about this physical examination process they run out there for some of the women in Albuquerque. As if once you pass this physical examination, you're automatically an astronaut. My mother could probably pass the physical examination we give out for the preseason for Dallas Cowboys, but I bet you have played too many games. But I think this gets back to our way our social order is organized. Really, it's just a fact. The men go fight the wars and build the airplanes, and the women are not part of this field. And that's a fact of our social order.
Thank you so much for your testimony today, Cosmo. That will be all.
And may I compliment Colonel John Glenn? We are very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
At this time, I would like to hear from Ms. Cochran,
yes, Jackie, finally.
who holds more ovation and speed records than any living human being. And everybody admits her qualifications as a jet pilot. Ms. Jacqueline Cochran.
Please, gentlemen. I am so sorry to be here so late. It's very impolite of me, and excuse my outfit. I came straight from the airport.
This side of the aisle, particularly like to welcome you. Ms. Cochran, please proceed with your statement.
My general views are as follows. I do not believe there has been any intentional or actual discrimination against women in the astronaut program to date. The manned spaceflights are extremely expensive and also urgent in the national interest.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't have any doubt about women. And the sad part is there is an attrition rate due to marriage. I can only examine what happened with our women pilots in World War II. Our attrition rate due to marriage was somewhere in the neighborhood of 40%.
40%.
I looked at the cost for training a pilot in a B-47. As I recall, the figures of $144,000 for one human being.
No idea.
If you want to take that chance that about the time we are ready to use that person, she starts a family, then I'm all for it.
Ah, waste of money.
And I am against waste, Congressman. I am. Because I don't think we can afford it.
I thoroughly agree with Ms. Cochran.
Now, I'm not against women being in this program. I wouldn't want anybody to get that idea.
There's hope for you yet. No. It's not.
And I want to take this last opportunity of congratulating our great American astronauts.
As do I. As do I.
And I want to tell you, Colonel John Glenn, you were a stellar witness to the Congressional Committee.